the rest of the community also. Really good. So Gwendolyn, commonality is one of those key points that when you have some commonality between the husband and the wife, some shared experiences growing up, it makes it more likely for that marriage to be able to succeed.
Well, it makes it a bit more easier to share those commonalities, to compare them with what is the correct way. Like I say, the Bible is absolutely the manual for having a good marriage.
Okay.
Okay, I just believe without it, if your marriage is good, it can be better. If you think it's the best, it could be excellent.
Right.
Yes. And I believe with those things, knowing and understanding that two people have been raised differently, they come with two different ideas.
Right.
Okay, but understanding, like I say, back to the right way, that it should be done. Because you can agree on something.
Right.
Or disagree, but as long as you both know that, okay, we disagree on this, but we're moving forward.
I have to tell you, is that when someone goes into a marriage and they say, if it doesn't work, we'll just get divorced, really shouldn't get married, to be perfectly honest with you. I think I hear it way too many times. But now let's take a moment, let's step back for a moment from the book and let's talk about being married and a little bit of tax law information. And I know that no one likes tax law, okay? But let me explain something to you. This is a very, very common area for mistakes. If you're married, you're married. If you're not married, then you're not married. What do I mean by that? Okay, so there are 4 different filing statuses for someone filing a tax return. And you should file a tax return every year regardless of how much money you make. That way it's in the system and you don't have to worry about the Internal Revenue Service coming through and saying, why didn't you file this tax return? Okay, we just don't want that. So what you have is you have singled, you have married filing jointly, married filing separately, head of household, and there is one for a widow. Okay?
Right.
So if you're married, you can't flip-flop between head of household or single and married filing jointly. You have 2 choices, married filing jointly or singly. People do this all the time. The Internal Revenue Service has gotten smart. They have computers. And they know when you do this, and they will correct it for you. Sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're right. I had a couple that have been married for 35 years or so, and sent us a letter saying that for 2010, that the wife had to file separately. And we said, why? They've been married for 30-some years. It's a very common mistake, and I wanted to bring it out here. It's easier to do it right than to do it underhanded.
Right.
You do that, you're gonna get caught nowadays. Okay, well that's it for my little tax spiel. Okay, but there's a lot of other ramifications of being married. Financially, and when you have 2 people working, you have double the income, but you don't necessarily double your household expenses.
Right.
If anything, it goes down. So, that's a good benefit from it. How about this one?
Okay.
When you're married, you're with someone that you care about. Maybe you smile a little bit longer, laugh a little bit more. Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Okay. So now you have a couple of other projects in the works.
I do, yes.
And you were telling me one about a dual reader.
Yes.
I find myself not reading as many books as I used to. That's a very unfortunate thing because nowadays you download them to your phone, you download them to your Kindle, you download them to your computer, and you read it. Your book that's out right now, you said was on Amazon and Kindle.
Yes, it is.
But you have another one that just came out, and it's a dual reader. So tell me more about that book.
That book is a dual reader, as you've stated, and one side is...
Yeah, tell them what a dual reader is.
A dual reader is one book on one side, and then you flip it over, and there's another book on the other side, but it's two books in one. So the first one is Forgive So You Can Live. It talks about the benefits of forgiveness. We have a lot of diseases that have they're finding out now that have occurred or people are dealing with because of unforgiveness. And so it talks about the benefits of doing that.
Well, give me one of those.
Cancer. A lot of cancers have been linked to people holding unforgiveness.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other side is, the benefits of a hug. You should want this hug. Because having someone, the touch, the hug, 20-second hug does a lot for the body on the inside. And
I agree with that one.
People don't realize that,
Yeah.
but it does.
I agree with that one.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
So those are the two books.
Let's go back to the first one.
Okay.
Give me some other examples of unforgiveness that have caused other diseases.
Hardening of the arteries. That have been linked back to, when people, if you've been hurt, marriage, somebody has been hurt in a marriage by infidelity or adultery, which is basically the same thing, and you're holding that thing and carrying it around for year after year after year,
Right.
it does something inside your body which causes your heart not to function the way it needs to function. Okay? Even affects the breathing. And then we have things that are developing, and you're going to the doctor and he's telling you all of these things that are wrong with you, but scientists are now finding out that a lot of these things are linked to the fact that you're holding things from the past and not letting go of those things so that you can feel better.
Here we go. On the back of the book, your father is the late Dr. Elder Patrick Fraser.
Yes.
And your mother is Minister Cora Lee Cohen Madir.
Fraser, yes.
Love that name.
Thank you.
All right. Now, the people will need to look on Amazon.com and on to Kindle.com to not only find this book, How Love Got Started.
Right.
Now, what's the title of the other book?
The dual reader is Forgive So You Can Live.
Forgive So You Can Live. I like that.
You Should Want This Hug. The Benefits of a Hug.
Okay, they can look under either title,
Right.
and they'll find the dual reader.
Yes.
You had another project that you're working on also. When does that due out?
The Benefits of Fearing God will
Okay.
be due out by the end of the year.
Okay, and are you getting good response from what you've seen so far on your books?
Yes, I have. I have an 84-year-old lady that read my book. Her husband has been deceased about 9 years.
Right.
And she said after she read my book, she had to really repent for the way she treated her husband. He was not a believer at the time when they first got married, and she was. And the way she treated him was not according to God's word, and so she had to repent.
Okay, well, it's always encouraging when people see that. I am going to get you to sign this copy of the book, all right? And we are going to auction it off on probably eBay to raise funds for the Just Phil Educational Television Foundation, Inc. And if you've been watching the show, you know that the foundation is all about education for everyone,
Right.
every economic strata. It's about taking large, complex issues and breaking them down into short, understandable, so that everybody can understand these things. but it's also, the foundation is also about helping people understand their taxes, how they can prepare them themselves. Free seminars will be out during the tax season. It's all about free representation to lower income taxpayers who have problems with the Internal Revenue Service. And it's also about, with enough funding, scholarships for those going to college or at college that need additional help to further their education so that they can become adults who are contributing to the society. So if you have any questions on how to reach Gwendolyn here,
you can reach me at my website. That's www.trulyinhishands.org.
trulyinhishands.org. Okay. And you have an email address?
Yes, trulyinhishands@gmail.com.
Okay. Now we're going to flash this on the screen and you write it down. If for some reason you miss it, contact me and I will put you in touch with Gwendolyn. All right? I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
In your books and your endeavors. I'm hoping to see you on the bestsellers list.
Thank you very much.
I'll check the New York Times list
Thank you.
in a week or two.
Thank you. Yes.
Very nice to meet you,
Nice
Gwendolyn.
meeting you.
Y'all take care now. Bye.
Thank you.
224-6875. 224-6875. This is Phil. PAS Bookkeeping and Tax Prep is open 7 days a week to ensure you get prompt, personalized, and professional service. Call 224-6875. Hi, I'm Phil Fleischman, owner of PAS Bookkeeping and Tax Prep, your affordable accounting alternative. Mention this ad and save 20% off last year's tax prep fees. Call us 224-6875. Today, we're going to wrap up our series with authors, and you happen to be an author.
Yes.
So we are finishing our series of authors with you.
Wow.
And we're very fortunate and privileged to have you.
Thank you. I am as well.
Now, like every other episode, I talk to the guest before we even get on the air. And I was very surprised to find out how Stylicia got her name. But here's the deal, though. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you how Stylicia got her name. But this is what we're going to do. If you can guess how she got her name, we will give you, free of charge, an autographed copy of Stylicia's book.
Wow.
Okay? And your book is called, the book that you just published, The Inspirational Corner.
Yes.
But this is not her first book, so we're even more privileged. You have already published, and I have to look at my notes here, The Soul Seeker,
Yes.
The Princess Within, The Soul of a Woman,
Yes.
The Writer's Block, and All About Him.
Yes.
All of these books are available to you right now on Amazon.com,
Yep.
on Kindle,
Yes.
and then on your website also.
Exactly. On my website.
On
yes.
your site. And when we get closer to the end of the show, we're going to flash that information up there for you.
Okay.
But let's talk about who you are. Now, you're from Detroit originally.
Yeah, I'm from Detroit, Michigan originally.
Okay, hint, 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 hint.
Born and
hint,
raised.
hint. Okay. But you live here in Charleston.
Yes, I do.
We're very fortunate that your last duty station was here and you
Yes.
stayed here.
Yes, thus far.
I cannot tell you how many times I hear that very story.
Wow.
So what we have, and let's just talk about the latest book.
Okay.
It's self-published.
Yes, it's self-published.
The Inspiration Corner, inspiring you through the chronicles of my life.
Yes.
This is an autobiography of sorts?
No, it's not an autobiography. A lot of people thought it was an autobiography, but no, it's like little lessons that I have learned, and those stories which I have a blog called The Inspirational Corner. Those stories came from just me being transparent in the transition that I was going through in my life, especially after losing my daughter and, just dealing with so much emotion in the last couple of years since she's been gone, in the last 6 years. But in the last 2 years, I call it my authentic journey. And a lot of things that I transitioned through, I realized some things were not a part of who I was. I was trying to be what other people wanted me to be, and it was like peeling off the layers of who I was not to get to know who I really was by spending that time with myself.
Your life inspiration, you're trying to convey that to the people so they can learn from what has happened to you.
Yes.
So, although I really didn't want to really dwell on the death of your daughter, and I'm sure it was a very traumatic thing. Let me see if I have this right. Her name was Serenity.
Yeah, her name was Serenity.
Beautiful name.
Thank you.
Would you like to tell the people a little bit more about what happened?
Yes. February 20th, 2007, I was on a 24-hour duty, got off my 24-hour duty. My friend already had dropped my children off at the daycare, and they dropped her off, and I had got a call that my something was wrong, and I went to Trident Hospital, and after that, it's like everything went black, because a chaplain had let me know that Serenity had passed away. Of course, they couldn't tell me that at the Naval Weapons Station because I've been hysterical driving. So after that, it's like everything in my life just shut down, But the beauty about everything that I've been through, it's been a transition, but the beauty about everything that I've been through is like my books started to flow out of me. I've always been a writer. I've been writing since I was 8 years old. So it's just through that, it's like through the pain I've been writing, and things just been flowing out of me.
Well, I'm very happy that you found an outlet to help you with that. I hope that some of what you have read will help other people through some of their pain.
Yes.
Now, I'm actually going to stop for just a sec, okay? Stylicia, do me a favor and tell the people out there some more about this book. And I already know that you've started a new book.
Yes.
And a little birdie told me the title to it.
Okay.
The name and title is Beauty After the Pain.
Yes.
So I see a little commonality in all your works.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Inspirational Corner?
Okay.
Now, it's from the blog.
Yeah, it's from my blog called The Inspirational Corner. And, with a blog, you're really transparent, especially as a writer. Every writer needs a blog. And you get to express yourself through written form on your blog. And for me, I use it to inspire women to stop hiding. I always say I was an ex-people pleaser.
Right.
So I used to always do everything for everybody else and live my life according to what other people thought was best for me. And through my blog, it helped me to help other women to just be who God created you to be. Do not be ashamed of who you are. Like I said before, women, we wear so many different hats, mother, daughter, and sometimes we neglect ourselves. So in my blog, I have different things that I've written about. Monthly, twice a month, I write on my blog, and whatever transition that I'm going through during that time, I talk about on my blog. And so with the Inspirational Corner, I realized when I got the idea for this book, I was like, I already written my book. I don't have to start from scratch. Everything that I poured out on my blog is a book. And that's why with this book, it's not like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It's like little lessons, a quick read, little lessons that people can go through and say, wow, if you're at home mother and you're, haven't pampered yourself in a while. I went through a stage where I realized like I'm doing everything for everybody else. What
Right.
about myself? So that's what the Inspirational Corner is about. Me taking bits and pieces of what I put on my blog and put it in my book, different titles to inspire women. You know, I also have something called the Resignation Letter to Fear. We all deal with fear, and my thing was not allowing fear to hold me back anymore. I need to live an abundant life. So I really wanted to live out loud and live the life that God created for me to live. So that was the main thing with that one, for example.
All right. You're starting on the new book, and how's that going?
I just started on my new book, like you just clarified. Right now is making me tap into so many different parts of who I am, you know, especially living here in Charleston. God is truly showing me the beauty here.
Right.
And that's what I'm, you know, in that book, I'm going to get, it's going to be different lessons. And with that book, people will be able to answer questions after each lesson. I have like lesson 1, the reality. You know, we all have the reality of the pain and stuff like that. So right now, that's the meat of my book. You know, in spite of the pain, there is beauty.
I believe personally that although you can never be released of the pain of losing a parent, child, sibling, I think that you learn on how to deal with that pain and to bring something good from the experience.
Yes.
Is that where you're at, or have you been able to release the pain entirely?
Well, I believe through my writing, it has helped me heal. And I just think right now where I'm at, me totally releasing the pain. And, you know, like you said, you're never going to say I'm over over losing a loved one, especially
Right.
after losing my child. I can never truly say I'm over it. But if I can empower other people and just inspire other people that in spite of your pain, let it go. You know, I know it's me and my daughter's will to live an abundant life. And that's what my 2-year-old would have wanted, you know.
Right.
So I believe right now I'm in a place of peace and healing. That's where I'm at right now.
Well, I truly hope that you're listening to this and that you're being inspired, that you take a look at these books. They're available on Amazon and
Yes.
Kindle.
Amazon and
your
Kindle.
website, and we're going to flash that up in just a few minutes. But it's such a deep issue
Yes, it is.
that I think it's time in this episode to lighten up, bring a little levity to the episode. So let's talk about Detroit.
Detroit.
Let's talk about Motown.
Motown. I love Motown.
All right. See there? So tell me, can people see you around town? Are you going to be signing books? Are you?
Well, I have right now. My business is going through a reinvention. So right now, I'm in. I could say I'm in the phase where I'm just kind of shutting down and just writing. I'm just in the phase of just writing right now.
And of course, we're in the summertime. You enjoying Charleston in the summertime with your daughter?
Yes, and traveling. I love to
Traveling.
travel. I love to travel.
All right. So, what do you do in the summertime? Where do you go and hang out?
In the summertime, I usually go back home to Michigan and to Virginia, to Florida.
Man,
Yeah, I love to travel.
I wish I could travel like that. All right. Well, listen, let's do this. I have your book here, The Inspirational Corner. And I'm going to get you to sign this.
Okay.
Now, if you think you know where Stylicia got her name, I want you to email me. And if you're the first person who's right, we're going to send you this book. If no one guesses, and there's a very high probability that nobody will guess, okay? But trust me, it's a real thing. Then we're going to auction this off, probably on eBay,
Okay.
for the Just Phil Educational Television Foundation to help fund the television program, to help fund the free tax seminars later in the year
Okay.
for those in lower income areas, to help fund free IRS representation for the lower income people who have problems with the Internal Revenue Service,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
And after that, to help fund scholarships for children going to college.
I think that's awesome.
Okay? So either somebody's going to get a free book or we're going to auction it off. Okay?
Okay.
So if I could get you to sign this for us, I got a pen right here. And while she's doing that, we're going to flash on the screen all of Stylicia's information. Do you have a website?
Yes.
What is that website?
It's Stylicia, my first name, Bowden.com.
Stylicia, Bowden.com.
Yes.
And do you have an email address for everybody?
My email address is info@styliciabowden.com.
All right. And look for your books
Yes.
on your website,
On my website,
on Amazon.com,
on Amazon, yes.
and Kindle.
And Kindle.
All right. Well, it's been a real pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Well-
having me.
We're real sorry about your loss,
Thank you.
but we are very privileged from what has come from it.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week. Enjoy yourself. I'll see you again next week, the same time. And thank you, Stylicia, again for being the last of our authors series.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to following up with Stylicia. We're going to follow up with you
Okay.
later on the year or next year and find out how everything is going with you. Listen,
Okay.
everybody, have a great day. Have a great week. I'll see you again next week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Church was in a complete disorder and disarray with respect to our bookkeeping systems that I sort of inherited as a new pastor of a church. And the entire situation is really just overwhelming. We had an accountant at that time who was simply not doing his job. That's when I called Phil in. The first thing he did was brought everything in line and now has our relationship with the IRS resolved.
Call us 224-6875.
This program is produced in conjunction with Just Phil Educational Television Foundation. For more information on this episode, events, and seminars, or to make a donation, please visit us at www.jpetf.org or call 843-224-6875.